My value add is that I can connect them with the best of the best of the best.
What are they getting? And also, who is the target audience? Like, was Zeneca talking to beginners in the NFT space? Is he talking to traders? Like Liam D, his was specifically for trading. That's why I didn't hold it, because I'm not a trader like that.
So Zeneca was from, if you look back at like all of the pitch stuff he launched at a time when people were throwing around fucking thousands and thousands and thousands for fucking like, you know, pictures of rocks.
Was he somebody? Was he like someone in the space at that time?
Yeah, he was one of the like early influencers.
Gotcha.
Bored Ape Yacht Clubs. He raised, I think, like 30 million across his both across both of his launches. So the project you mentioned was he launched the 333 Club, which is the kind of like the high tier, $15,000 to be able to get into that. It's 17,000 to get into now. So it's still like a high barrier to entry, but it was pitched at people who were interested in launching projects. The way I'm pitching it at the moment is that there is a huge amount of opportunity in Web3. You have got a very specific direction on where you're going. All of the people in my network have a very specific direction of where they're going. This is the time for people who have skills in certain areas to really, 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 really dig into their specific area. And my value add is that I can connect them with the best of the best of the best. And I'm not going to give away too much details, because, like I said, it's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks in a much like more entertaining and easier to digest format.
But leading up to mint or after?
Oh, before.
Okay. That was my main question, because I was like, I feel like I was like, there's not enough information for someone to be like, let me fork over $2,000. Because I was like, he hasn't made videos. I was like, well, that was my next question. Like, what? I know you're busy, but I was like, why hasn't he even made videos? Like, this is the time to double down on videos. Like with Riv, like Rivada from TikTok, like, she completely stopped making videos. I was like, bro, you lost all your hype. The videos are where your content and like your value comes from.
Yeah. So it's exactly that. So the answer is yes, I am. The question is though, where is that? It wouldn't make sense for me to just go like spam TikTok and be like, this is where I'm pulling in people. Yeah. It still has to be designed for the people who are. So and this is really important to understand. So at the moment, for what I'm going through, we're launching a project, and it's launching a business, but it's ultimately just like any business. It's a funnel. So you have a catchment at the top, which is the broad funnel, the broad, like the tip, the kind of like the top of the funnel. And that's when you're kind of going out to different communities, which I'm doing at the moment, and having a fucking ton of fun doing it. We're going out and we're just sharing the vision broadly, right? We're broadly sharing what we're like doing. Gotcha. There are going to be people that like don't get it, and they're like, okay, whatever, they move on. There are people that are going to be like, this actually sounds interesting. I haven't heard of the Proof Collective or the 333 Club, but they sound like high value, interesting things. Like, how do I potentially get into something similar to this? The whole point is that they have curiosity, right? They're curious about where this can go. So what I have to design is like a funnel that at every point there's touch points that explains to people what they're getting, but it has to be relevant to where they're at when it comes to the funnel. So what we've got at the moment in the Summit Club is we've got a bunch of people who understand what the fucking vision is, understand what the potential value add is to them for their specific situations, because they've gotten past a few friction points that I've put in front of them to be like, okay, well, if you do get this, we're going to make it a little bit harder for you so that you understand why this is so valuable. So it's all kind of structured towards just it's actually removing people. It's at each point just being like, you know what, you're probably not the best fit for this, right. Because you don't get it. And it's narrowing it down so that we just get people who are like, fuck yes, I get this. And the challenge is that I had no idea how long that would take, especially in a market like this. This isn't a hype project. I don't give a fuck about the numbers on my Twitter. I don't care about that. All I want to do is get to a few people in lots of different communities who might understand it and give them the opportunity to be curious and find out for themselves. But then my point about content, the content that I'm going to be creating over the next like couple of weeks is going to be dedicated to the bottom part. where people have already come in, but it's like, okay, this is the clarity on what you're getting.
Gotcha. Cool.
So
that was my main question.
Yeah, and exactly that, because you're completely right. I've just had to kind of like, the scheduling stuff has been so time consuming. What I'm working on at the moment, and this is what I've been working on the last like couple of weeks, explain it in a more digestible format. So I've got a bunch of videos coming out. I've got a bunch of like, I'm going to be creating like various different types of content for all the different ways that people consume stuff, so that it's easy to understand like where value is coming from. And that's just from like the learnings that I've taken from speaking to people over the last few weeks. People who have come into the Discord and might be it's not obvious. We've been making it a lot more obvious, but I'm going to make it fucking like as obvious and clear as day what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a big part of that is, so Cade, for example, is going to be a token holder. He's going to have a club number. He may get lucky. He may get the number 69. Who knows? But it's the filtering down of what my network is and how they can feel like they're a part of the community. So there's going to be an option. There's going to be an option for Cade. Cade will be able to choose whether or not he wants to be a part of the Summit Club or not. If he does, there are going to be some areas where he can contribute to the entire mission, which will filter down into people who are the token holders. The great news is that I know that that's low effort for Cade, like what that stuff will be. And he'd be more than willing to do this, as it would be the case for me reciprocating for me with the George Kingdom. And this is a long-term thing. But the key thing is how do we make that, me and Cade understand where this is, but it's how do we make people who don't have a fucking clue who we are see that? So that's what I'm really excited over the next like couple of weeks to make a big bank of. I'm fucking excited for this. This is like the first time I've been excited for content creating in a while, because it's like, this is where I get to test myself.
What percentage of the Summit Club NFT project is going to be the people that you recruited, like me or like someone else, like a creator or whatever? And then what percent are going to be like buyers and investors that aren't, like, is everyone a contributor, or is some people contributors and some people like people who are just going to like get value?
So it's this is how it was originally designed, was that there was 111 tokens in total, and this was designed around the thing that I've said in my videos, talked about, which is this scientific law around the maximum number of relationships that you can have with deep, meaningful relationships you can have with people. And from my experience being in lots of Discords where there've been thousands of people or hundreds of people, and I've found it impossible to follow along with information or dig into, find quality information. So the membership is 69, and outside of that, there is a treasury, and the treasury is split between the core team, who are kind of like OG members of the group, but are like now contributors to the actual movement forward of the group, and then experts like yourself, and those people are the part, because there's a couple of parts to this which so like yourself, you've got the George Kingdom and you've got your access keys and your first collections. That is in my opinion, that is an opportunity for people to invest it in you at your like earliest level. Mm-hmm. What I want to do is I want my closest network to feel connected to my like journey and my story. So I'm giving people the option. I'm giving the experts that I know in my network the option of being part of that, and they can say no. And I'm like, that's great. But I know that if someone came to me and was like, Tom, do you want to be part of this? You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to do anything apart from contribute in these certain ways. I'd say, fuck yes, because I love you.